Hello students, welcome again to my classroom. In this video, we are going to talk about the concept of standard deviation, and it is in continuation with data, mean, median, mode, and range, how we calculated earlier. We are going to look at a standard deviation. Now on this screen, you can see the formula, the symbols, and you may think, oh, this is such a crazy formula and there's too much going on here. I have no clue what Miss Mehta is going to teach today. So I just put the crazy or complex formula up here just to give you an idea that it sounds so complex, but eventually on the next couple of slides, when we'll break it up into parts or pieces, it should make some more or better sense for you. So in the formula, students, this symbol is called a sigma, and this is just a Greek notation for calculating the standard deviation. So this is the symbol for standard deviation, and how you write it is like this. This is your sigma. So let us start on the next page. You can pause and copy the formula that comes with it. On the next page, we will break it up into pieces and actually understand what standard deviation is. And then all of this is going to make more sense for you. So let us see this fly away. And on this page, we will start with the basic definition of standard deviation. All right, so first up, we will start with the definition. And by definition, standard deviation means it is the measure of how spread out the numbers are from the mean. Now, what it basically means is that you calculate the mean of your data set, and then using a formula, you calculate how far are the numbers away from the mean. How are they deviating from the mean, or what is the distance of numbers from the mean, in other words. So from here, we can also conclude that if the data values are close, that means they are very close to each other, then your standard deviation, the symbol is this, standard deviation will be a very small value. That means there's not a large variation in the values. And if your data values are spread out or they are large, then your sigma is also, or the standard deviation value is also going to come out as a large value. All right. After this, we'll take care of the symbol, although I have shared with you in my past slide. The symbol of standard deviation is this symbol. The name of the symbol is sigma, and the origination is from Greek. So it's one of the Greek alphabets that they are using. The other symbol that you need for this formula is called a mu, and it looks like a U, but actually it's elongated from here, from this side. So how do we say it is mu? Another Greek alphabet, and this is going to be used for mean. And I try to remember mu as me and you. So if you mix up me and you, you'll get mu. It's just a funny way to remember. All right, so with the definitions taken care of, we will on the next slide talk about different steps that we will follow in order to calculate the standard deviation, or how far are the numbers away from the mean. So let us see this fly away now. There it goes. All right, so the steps to calculate standard deviation. All right, so the very first step that you will follow is you'll calculate the mean. Whatever data sets are given to you, you will find the mean of the data. Next, you will subtract each value from the mean. So each value minus mean. Next, square the answer. That means whatever answer you get from step 2, you will square them. Step 4, find the sum of squares. And I forgot to share this symbol with you students in the formula on the first slide. This is called, you may think, oh, this is an upside down M. Why are we using an upside down M in our formula? It is basically a symbol for summation. And summation means you're adding all the numbers. So wherever you see this, that means all the numbers are being added or we are combining them. So next is divide your answer in step 4. Divide by n. N means how many numbers you have in total. Sixth, the last step is you take the square root of whatever you got in step 5. You take the square root of that answer. So we'll call this the square root step. So I tried to divide all the steps into little pieces here so that in one single step, if we calculate, you will not understand. So please remember, our first step is mean. Subtract each value, square the answers, find the sum of the squares, divide by n, and then whatever answer you have final is called the square root. You have to calculate the square root, and that will be your final answer for standard deviation. All right, let us see this fly away as well now. There it goes. Let's do an example together. And the question says that the math test scores. I hope YouTube doesn't mark it as inappropriate. By mistake, I said that. The math test scores of 5 students are given as follows. And there are 5 test scores of students: 92, 88, 80, 68, and 52. So these are the 5 test scores, and we have to calculate the standard deviation. That means we are trying to calculate how far away are these values from the mean. What is the distance of each value from the mean? The average distance. So remember, on the last slide, we looked at the steps. So our first step is going to be to calculate the mean. So you can start calculating the mean with me in your notebook. So it is 92 plus 88 plus 80 plus 68 plus 52. And then we add them and we divide by 5 because total numbers are 5. And after solving that, my mean should be coming out to be 76. Step 2. Step 2 is that I subtract every value from the mean. That means this is my every value. So next step is subtract. So I will subtract. How do I do this? I'll have 92 minus 76, which is 16. Then I have 88 minus 76, which is 12. Next up, I have 80 minus 76, which is 4. Next, I have 68 minus 76, which is negative 8. Although negative sign here does not matter, and you'll see why, because we are going to square them eventually. So it doesn't matter here. 52 minus 76, which is negative 24. So these are the distances of the values from the mean, and our mean was 76. That's why I have 76 everywhere, you can see. All right, I'll change colors so that I have your attention also. Next step is square. So in order to square, I'll have to square each of these values that I got. So 16 squared is 256. Next up, 12 squared, 144. And like this, let us square 4 squared, 16. Negative 8 squared, 64. And then negative 24 squared is 576, I think. You can check with your calculator. All right, change color. Next step. Remember what was the step after square? I messed up here, students. It drew 2 lines. Let me see if I can erase it. Oh, just by pressing that, it's gone? No. All right. There we go. I'm glad I didn't lose much of my work here. All right. Next step is we find the sum of all of those. And it'll be sum of whatever I got here. 256 plus 144. I know there's too much going on. But remember, go back to your steps and it should make some more sense for you. All right, after adding all of these, students, I get a big number, 1056. Step number 5 is going to be, I actually divide 1056 by the number of values I have. And 1056 is divided by how many values do I have? How many scores? 5. It is going to be 211.2. And next up, I will have last step, we do the square root of that answer, 211.2. Square root of that is 14.53. So this is the standard deviation, students. We followed lots of steps to calculate the answer. And this actually tells me how is my data varying or deviating away from the mean. So in this given question, all the values are about 14.53 points away from the mean of the test scores. So I hope it made some sense. And then again, I repeat the steps. We get all our values in the question. We calculate the mean. Then we subtract each value away from the mean. Next step, we square every value that we got in step 2. We add all of them, divide by the number of values we have, which is 5. And remember to square root it. Now this value inside the square root is called variance because it's actually telling you how much it's varying from. And standard deviation is square root of variance. All right, now I will let you finish your notes and then I'll clear this off. There it goes. And now it's your turn to try. So I want for you to try this question on your own. And these are the science test scores of 5 students. So our n is 5. All right, and the scores are 92, 92 again, 92 again, okay, and 52 and 52. All right, so the question is find the standard deviation or sigma. And remember the formula for sigma is square root of, that's our last step, sum of summation x minus mu. What was mu? The mean. And we do the square of that. So follow the same steps we followed and calculate your answer and share in the comments below what your answer comes out to be for the sigma or the standard deviation. In the end, I want to write some Hindi for you here. Basically, I'm trying to say shukriya. Shukriya means thank you in my country. So I thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing and watching and taking good notes. I'll see you in my next video. Have a good one. Bye.